Now we haven't really done any work in our blues in this course yet, so we're going to start doing some now. Blues is an exciting way to play the guitar, but more importantly it's one of the best ways to develop rhythm, technique and put it all together in a real cruisy, exciting to play type piece of music there. So let's just talk about the theory of the blues first. So when we play music, we're playing it with a consistent 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and type rhythm. Now I've spoken before in the past about doing a shuffle type rhythm, which is just a bit of a lazy. So we have the two. You've got the straight 1 and 2 and, but we've also got the shuffle. Now there's no real way to write that shuffle accurately down on paper, especially not with true blues. It's such a cruisy, it's got its own sort of a pace that just cruises and meanders along there. But there are several ways we can write it down, and we just anecdote it to say exactly what's happening. Now you'll see on your screen there's the first way to write it down, and that's using a time signature of 12/8 timing. Now 12/8 timing means of course 12 eighth notes to the bar. So that means 4 groups of 3. So what you've got there, that's actually quite accurate in terms of its writing. You've got one that goes, that holds down for 2 eighth notes, and then the third one is an up. So that's one way to write it down, 12/8 timing. What 12/8 time means, however, the theory is it's got 12 beats to the bar, which is not quite true with the blues because it's very much only got 4 beats to the bar. So that's not quite accurate. Let's have a look at the next one there. Now the next one you can see uses a dotted 8th note and then a 16th note. So what the dotted 8th note means is that's worth 1.5 8th notes, and then the 16th note of course is worth half an 8th note. So you have to hold that a bit longer. Now this one is technically incorrect as such because it really is not that timing at all. But what it does mean, however, is that at the top sometimes musicians and transcribers will use a shuffle rhythm or play with swing and really put something in there to the effect that even though the timing is written like this, it's meant to be done with a swing type rhythm. Now this is one of the improbabilities you get out of the blues because it's very hard to transcribe accurately. So there's several different ways to do it, and this is one of them. So if you see this in your music and you see a thing that says use swing, you know it's to use this sort of rhythm, and not quite like it's written where it's a sort of a like that. That's a bit too formalized for it. Okay, so now let's move on to the third one, which is what I consider the most accurate and probably the best way to write music down in blues and swing music. Now you can see it's in 4/4 time, so it's accurate there. It's got 4 beats to the bar. Now what we've got is 4 groups of 3 notes all grouped together. Now the 3 notes grouped have a little thing above them, a little number which says 3. And what they're called is triplets. So that means you've got the beat is divided into 3 notes. So with our music that we've learned previously, we learned 8th notes where 1 beat is worth 2 notes there, and you've got 16th notes where 1 beat is divided into 4 notes. What we've done is split down the middle here and get 1 beat that's divided into 3 notes. So that's where you get the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's where our swing timing comes from. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, like that. And that's our swing rhythm there. So most accurate way to write it down is in triplets using 4/4 time, which introduces us to our triplets. So we now know that a triplet, if you see 3 notes written with a little grouping and a number 3 above them, you know that's a triplet. So that means if we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, a triplet's going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is what our timing is there. So now that we know that, we can accurately play blues music and jazz music, because jazz music is often timed similarly as well. We can now play it and understand it a little bit. So let's move on and do something with that, using our triplets from now on.